All right, so today we're going to take notes on Chapter 2, Section 4, Lesson 4, Multiplying and Dividing Rational Numbers. So we're going to be finding the products of rational numbers today. We're going to look at some rules and then also practice with the same sign and different signs. So very similar to what we did in Chapter 1. All right, some key ideas are here. So multiplying rational numbers. In words, to multiply rational numbers, use the same rules as you use for multiplying integers. Okay, so here is the rule right here, or rules. Same sign is positive, different signs, the product is negative. Here they show different signs, so you have a product that's negative. Here we have the same signs, both are negative, your product is positive. All right, let's try a couple examples here. So first of all, we have multiplying decimals. We have a negative and a positive. So we know that our answer is going to be a negative product. We can also estimate. We can think that 3.6 is close to 4. What's 4 times 2.5? Well, 4 times 2 is 8, and then half of that would be 2 more. So it's going to be about negative 10. So we were shooting for an answer around there. All right, ignore the signs for right now. And we're going to just line these numbers up vertically. So we have 2.5 times 3.6. Okay, and we'll worry about the sign at the end and the decimal points. So 6 times 5 is 30. We write down the 3 and we regroup, or write down the 0 and regroup, or carry the 3. 6 times 2 is 12. Add the 3, 13, 14, 15, and we write 15 down. We need a 0 for a placeholder. Then 3 times 5 is 15. Regroup that 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. So we're going to go ahead and add these numbers. 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. Put down the 0. Regroup that 1. 7, 8, 9. So we have 900. Now to find the decimal point, what we have to do is count the decimal places. So there's 1 decimal point here in the first number, and then there's 1 decimal place in the second answer. So that's 2 altogether. So here's where it normally is. So we're going to move it 2 places to the left. Okay? And then we know that our answer is going to be negative, so it's negative 9. All right, let's take a look at the second example here. Second example in multiplying rational numbers. The first thing I want to notice is they're both negatives, so I know that my answer is going to be a positive. So product will be positive. And then I'm going to think this is about 2, and this is less than 1. My answer is going to be somewhere around 2. Okay, we're just trying to think of a reasonable answer here. All right, and because this is a fraction, before we can set that up to multiply, we want to change this to its improper version. Okay, so I'm going to keep the 1/3 just as it is, times, and then when I get here, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. I'm going to rewrite that as 9/4. All right, we can simplify right now, or we can simplify in the end. I'm going to show you both ways. All right, so first of all, when you're multiplying fractions, you can multiply the numerators together. So 1 times 9 equals 9. 3 times 4 equals 12. So that's our answer before we simplify. Now we can break that down a little bit more because we recognize that both of these can be divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So my answer is 3/4. And remember, it's positive because I'm multiplying 2 negatives. Now, a different way to do this would be right here when I have 1/3 times 9 over 4. I can recognize right away that if I take out a 3, or divide by 3 down here, and divide by 3 here, my answer gets simplified. 1 times 3 and 1 times 4. Okay, so either way is fine. You can simplify ahead of time or simplify in the end. All right, let's try some practice problems. What you should do now is stop and pause the video. Do these 4 problems on your own and come back and check. All right, let's see how you did. So here I'm going to think that my answer is going to be negative, right? I have 2 different signs. And this is about 5, and that's about 2, so it's going to be about a negative 2. All right, let's go ahead and set it up. So we have 5.1 and 1.8. We're going to multiply those. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Put a 0 in here for a placeholder. 1 times 1 and 1 times 5. And then we add 8 plus 0, 1, and 9. And then we count the decimal places. There's 1 here and 1 here, so we have 2 altogether. Move that over 1, 2, so our final answer is 9.18. And what did I say my sign was going to be? Negative. Oh, I look at my estimate. Wait, that's way off my estimate. But if I think about it, what was I thinking? This is close to 2, and that's close to 5, so yeah, negative 10 is what I meant to say there. All right, so good job. All right, let's look at number 2. Another set of decimals. See if I can do an estimation here a little bit more accurately. So it's going to be about, it'll be a positive. This is about 6, and that's about 1, so it should be about 6. All right, let's go ahead and multiply. 6.3, 0.6. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1. 36 plus 1, 37. 0 for a placeholder. 0 times 3, 0 times 6, that's another 0. Go ahead and add 8, 7, 3. And again, I have 2 decimal places. We have that. And we have 2 different signs, so 3.78. Alright, that's a little bit off of my estimate, so I'm going to double check my work. 6 times 3 is 18. I carry the 1. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 1, 7, and 3. And now I'm on the 1's place here. 0 times 3, 0 times 6. Okay, I think we're good to go. Alright, now on to our examples with fractions. I see that this fraction is almost 1, and that's 2/3, and they're both negative, so it should be about, I would say, 2/3. Alright, let's go ahead and multiply. So we have 4/5 times 2/3. So I don't see any simplifying that I can do here, so I'm just going to multiply the numerators. I get an 8. Multiply the denominators, I get a 15. Double check my signs. 2 negatives equal a positive product, so I'm done with that. Alright, that seems pretty easy. Alright, let's go ahead and do number 4. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 9/2. So I have to first make that an improper fraction, remember? And I have to do the same thing here. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1, 7/3. Now I know that it's going to be a negative product because I have 2 different signs. This is about 4, 5. It's going to be about 5/10, maybe close to negative 10. We'll see. Alright, here's the situation where you can simplify before you multiply or after. So I'm going to show you both cases. And you can pick whichever one floats your boat. Alright, so if I go ahead and multiply first, 9 times 7 is, 9 times 7 is 63. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, I have a big improper fraction there. I have to keep going. How many times can I get a set of 6 out of 63? 10. With 3 left over. So simplifying a little bit more, I get a final answer of 10.5, and I have to go back and be careful about my signs. It's negative 10.5. Alright, or I could do the simplifying ahead of time, which I kind of think is easier. Alright, I look at these 2 factors across, or these 2 numbers across. They both have a common factor of 3. So I'm going to divide by 3 here. and a divide by 3 here. So I get 9 divided by 3, 3 on the numerator, 2 stays my denominator, times 7, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now when I multiply, I get 21 over 2, and I still have to change that to a mixed number. So 21 divided by 2 is 10 with 1 left over, and again my signs are different, opposite, so my answer is negative. Alright, let's see what we have on the back.